Our view of multinational corporations is often influenced by our view of the world and by uh, our society's economic ideology or ideology in more general sense. We could divide these ideologies or views of corporations and of the society and economy in kind of two broad camps, pro-government and pro-market. Uh, Capitalism and multinational corporations are kind of the children of capitalism, is traditionally associated with the pro-market camp. It claims that, you know, capitalism, free flow of investment and trade and goods around the world, and the system based on private enterprise brings more efficiency, brings more wealth, and we see it, in countries such as the United States or Japan, or more recently China, that have embraced some of the aspects of capitalism. That it brought efficiency, brought productivity, brought wealth, brought better products and services that we can consume. The other camp claims that while efficiency is great, it can often, and capitalism that's behind it, can bring quite a lot of inequality. Not everybody benefits from these fantastic new products. You know, not everybody can afford Apple iPhone or to drive a Tesla. So while it might be great for some, for Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, the capitalism doesn't work for everybody. And the state has a role in protecting the people who are poorer or just somehow left behind by capitalism. So this has implications for how we view multinational corporations. We view them as kind of positive force, something that brings efficiency and productivity and better products, or do we view them as potentially factors in increasing inequality and strife in our societies? Countries differ in how they approach these challenges, and that depends on the overall kind of economic ideology behind their system. So the US has been traditionally known as a proponent of capitalism, but they also found out, for example, during the global financial crisis, that not regulating the financial sector resulted in behavior that resulted in a collapse of the housing market and of some of the financial markets, some of the big financial firms, and a big crisis. So it's not all black and white. Most countries are somewhere in the middle. China, which officially still has a communist party, also embraced capitalist enterprise and has large multinational corporations such as Tencent and Alibaba. Also, for example, with Alibaba and many of the tech firms recently, they are much more regulated. So it's kind of a pendulum, a balance. Countries are always somewhere in the middle. Sometimes they move towards more pro-market stance, sometimes towards more pro-government stance, and a bigger role for state in the economy. And we see that in most of the countries around the world. There's both role for the state and both role for the market, and the balance changes over time. Maybe one last point. The European Union, for example, is somewhere in the middle. It's got a lot of countries such as Sweden that have pretty high tax rates and try to provide social welfare for the companies. But at the same time, Sweden, for example, has its multinational companies such as H&M. So there is not necessarily a conflict behind good, strong, efficient state and good, strong, efficient private enterprise. And multinationals can serve a positive role in countries' development, but perhaps we also need some regulations and some policies that will prevent them from, for example, not paying taxes in countries where they operate and not contributing to the society.